Apollo HealthCo is a subsidiary of Apollo Hospitals, and it has entered into an agreement with global private equity firm Advent International to raise 2,475 crores. As per the agreement, Apollo HealthCo would integrate 100% of its wholesale pharmaceuticals distributor firm, Keimed, with Advent International over the next 24 to 30 months. To discuss more on this, we have Ms. Suneeta Reddy, Managing Director at Apollo Hospitals, joining in. Ma'am, good morning. Great to have you with us here. Prashant this side. First up, I should say congratulations. I mean, I think we've been asking you when is something going to happen for a while, and this is now finally gone through. I just want to start by asking you, was there, just give us some are pointing out that the valuation at which this has been done and what this values Apollo HealthCo at is about 20-25% lower than what they were kind of penciling in. So just wanted you to address that to begin this conversation.
I don't believe it is 20-25% lower. Yes, maybe 20% lower than what the market was expecting. But the most important thing to realize right now is at this market, at this time, I think timeliness is crucial. We now will have a very strong balance sheet, which will enable the growth of Apollo HealthCo. And if you look at the entire transaction, it will create India's largest omni-channel pharmacy play. Added to that, of course, is the benefits that will now come from the digital network that we have created, which has multiple revenue streams. So we are enabling growth, we are funding growth, and we have a strong balance sheet. It could be at a 20% discount to market expectations, but I think having cash in hand and a strong balance sheet far outweighs that.
And what kind of drove the next step, which is the merger of Keimed, the promoter family's pharma distribution arm, into the fold, and how was valuation there derived? I mean, did you sort of go by some of the last rounds which happened there in that company?
So there were three aspects of the valuation. The first, of course, is that we had Apollo Hospitals had KPMG and EY do a valuation. And of course, we had Deloitte do a deep due diligence on Keimed. And therefore, the value was arrived, which Advent actually accepted this value based on these valuations. So we did get a third-party validation of the value. Having said that, Keimed does have other investors along with the Reddy family. So we really had to amalgamate all the investors into this transaction. So that was important in the way that we dealt with the valuation.
Okay, I'll come back to the valuations in a bit, Ms. Reddy. But the other thing also that the street is a bit concerned about is the margins, right, at which Keimed is working at, about 3.5% or so, and what this would do to the blended business as well. Is there any scope for margin improvement, operational improvement over the next 1 to 2 years? And can you just throw some light on that?
Yes, current margins are at 3%. But I think as we go forward, we have to look at the scale of Keimed and the fact that it supplies to 70,000 pharmacies. We believe that private label is the right way forward. So if you look at, combination of both what we're doing, AHL offline and Keimed, we're able to deliver a 10.7% margin moving into 11%. And that with the significant scale is actually a good number.
So can you tell us, so you said 10.7 to 11% is what you're looking at by when?
By 2027.
Okay, by 2027, got it. And can you tell us what the other synergies are post this deal that will come through with the company?
Yes, I think the fact that, that Keimed already has about 4,000 SKUs. They have 100 distribution centers. They are supplying to 70,000 pharmacies. So definitely, and AHL is present through its digital presence, through its existing network in 19,000 PIN codes. So I think it's really going to enable growth for Apollo HealthCo.
Okay, all right. Hi, Ms. Reddy. Good morning and good to see you. When you've given a target of 25,000 crores in terms of revenues. That's a tall ask, right? Even from current levels, even if you're going to grow at a very, very fast clip. Are you
Yes.
factoring in some inorganic growth as well?
Yes, I think Keimed is looking at some inorganic growth, and that will enable it to grow at around 20%.
Okay. So out of the total 25,000 crore mark that you're talking about, the current merged entity will be how much of that number? And the inorganic growth will contribute to how much of the 25,000 guidance that you've given by 2027?
Let's take a realistic figure. Right now, we have around 22,470 crores planned for 2027. Out of that, I would say that around 11,000 crores will come from Keimed, and the balance will come from Apollo HealthCo.
Ma'am, for Apollo Hospitals, I mean, this particular transaction, what does it do? I mean, there are two parts actually. One, Advent, of course, has rather worked in the area of healthcare for globally. It's a known player there. So what do they bring to the table in that sense? And second, once both these, the two-step process is complete, at the hospitals level, does this increase complexity in any way?
No, it does not increase complexity in any way. I think if you look at what it does for the business, we're moving from negative cash flows to hugely positive cash flows, and that's really important. The second is the fact that we're able to consolidate these cash flows and profits after the next 2 years, which is very good for the company. And third, it gives us access to the network that Apollo HealthCo will create. So the revenue streams of Apollo HealthCo, while offline pharmacy is the largest, the second that they're developing is, of course, the teleconsults that they're doing using the doctors, the connectivity with the diagnostics where the scale is improving dramatically. And of course, being the front face of Apollo, enabling customers to come into the Apollo system. I think the benefits of all that coming together holistically and delivering on very positive cash flows is really why it's hugely beneficial. I must say that while you're thinking of the valuation of these companies, Apollo HealthCo has been valued at a 15% premium to existing peers. And Keimed has been valued at a 20% discount to listed peers. So we believe that
sure.
the valuation also is there.
Okay, I just had one clarification. When you said 10 to 11% margins earlier by FY27, that was for Apollo Hospitals or Apollo HealthCo?
Apollo HealthCo.
For Apollo HealthCo, okay, because earlier I think your guidance was 7 to 8% margins, right? So is it fair to assume that you've scaled it up?
Yes, I think with the private label, we'll be able to scale it up, yes.
Okay, fair enough. And one more question on any listing plans that you would have for HealthCo over the next year or so. I'm just asking because any plans that Advent would have to exit, because I think there is a listing period of 7 years or a mandated sale that you'd be looking at, right?
Yes, I think, there is an optionality. We could look at it closer to that time, but I think right now the focus is on growth and really on realizing that positive cash flow and profitability for the company, and also the restructuring and the steps that we need to follow, which is have an AGM, get CCI approval. So post that, we can think of, I think we have time to think about Advent's exit.
All right, Ms. Reddy, final question before we let you go. The 2,475 crore that's being received by Advent towards Class B preference shares, that breakup is sorted out, 1,732 and 743. But what is this 1,485 crores towards Class B preference shares? Could you explain this 1,485?
The 1,480, so the figures that we have discussed is 14,482 crores for Apollo HealthCo, 8,003 crores for Keimed. So this is the breakup. The first part of the transaction will be acquiring Keimed in the first stage, 2% of Keimed, which is the first stage. So that is the breakup and the process through which this will happen.
We are referring to the money that's coming in from Advent, the money that we have clarity on. That's there's no worries on that front. You're the 2,475. But in the release, you've mentioned another number, which is 1,485 crores. What is that? 1,485 crores?
That will go towards the acquisition of some of the Keimed shareholders.
All right. Fair enough. We'll leave it there, ma'am. Thank you very much for joining us and running us through some of the details around these sort of two-leg transactions. And thanks once again.